Hello and welcome back. This is the last route that we haven't done in Makuri Island, called the Spirit Forest. So today we did the 3-village loop. We did the Kappa Quest and the Kappa Quest reverse, where unfortunately for the Kappa Quest I forgot to hit the record button. But this is the last one, and since we are done with our zone 2 biking for today, we did 2.5 hours. I figured this one will try to attack a little, so we will actually start maybe off a little bit slower, just get the pulse up to speed, and then once we hit the climb on the actual after the lead-in, we will we'll go and attack this the second time around. So this particular part of the course we did previously. We are coming here left into the forest climb, and once we hit the temple KOM, we will still take it slow until we reach the top. So this is the same as the forward loop, where I unfortunately forgot to record. So you see on the left hand side we had a best time of 13:30, which was nothing to write home about. It was essentially I would assume a recovery ride of some sort, because the power for this is probably around 130 watts or so. So this first time around we'll actually try to be around 130, 140 watts, nothing too crazy. And once we hit the KOM at the top, the actual loop should start, or the actual route should start. And then we will make sure that we try to attack this a little bit. Just making sure that I have the microphone on. You can also see that I switched shirts again. We're going old school with an old Garmin jersey. I don't know how many years I already have that, but it's an oldie but goodie. And I wouldn't really care. I would even wear it outside, but with the technology advancing all the time, there are much better shirts out there now, sitting much more tightly, being way more aerodynamic. That's maybe a thing that I don't really care about in mountain biking, but in road biking you probably would or should. So we are still nicely in zone 2. Hope to stay here until we reach the top of the mountain, and then the second time around try to attack this very climb. I'm actually, coming to think of it, I'm not 100% sure if we're actually going up this very climb or if we are going it up the other way. I'm not sure. See, here we go. I'm actually taking a different route now. But I'm pretty sure there will be one climb in here at least. Because the total is still 250 vertical meters, which is nothing to scoff at, over only 12.5 K. And then I feel that we did enough for today, having then finished four routes and essentially one world, Makuri Island, having done our 50K, having done more than 800 vertical meters. Yeah, I think I would feel quite accomplished then. I'm already looking forward to a coffee and some cookies after this ride. And then tonight I will probably just do my shopping, my grocery shopping. Make sure that I have some fresh produce for the next couple of days. Before then, on Thursday, heading back to Beijing for a long weekend, and coming back to Baoding on Monday. Also on Monday morning, I will go to a hospital in Beijing that is for that's responsible, or they do the examination for people who apply for a green card, and that's what the company did for me. So I will go to the hospital and give some blood and get some x-rays done and stuff. And hopefully that will then lead to me being able to apply for a green card, because that will make things a little bit easier with regards to moving around the country, actually getting some more rights. And since the company I work for, I do see me working here for another 4 or 5 years. They have some stock incentives, and I'm sure that having a green card would also make things a little bit easier with regards to potentially taking some money off the table and transferring it out of the country. All right, so now we are on the Temple KOM. It seems like we traversed over from the forest climb, which should be the the other side of the Temple KM. We seem to have traversed over and now do the Temple KM. So let's see how we fare on this part. And then we will pick up the pace a little bit. Especially when we then start hitting the climb for the second time. So 7 turns, 7 corners till the KM. This being number 1. Well, there were actually 8. I didn't count the first one. So 6 more bends. At least it seems like this. Feel free to count them yourself and then correct me if I'm wrong. For that, you would then need to leave a comment, which I of course highly encourage you to do, with any constructive criticism, or if I ask any questions, or if you have any suggestions on how to improve, make things easier to watch or nicer for you to enjoy, let me know. Yeah, we are definitely faster now than we have been on the previous couple of rides, where we tried to stick to around 130 watts. So far, here we are averaging 145. Yeah, I really do enjoy this this ride. Just looks stunning. Makes you really feel like you are in the middle of a forest, or in the world of Spirited Away. Very nice. All right. So if I counted right, then only 3 more turns. getting some ride-ons here, which is very nice. Thank you so much, you guys. If I were close to anyone, I would also be able to do that, but unfortunately, we're still quite far from the person in front of us, and the person behind us is putting out roughly the same power as us. So let's see if we can give him one. There we go. You're welcome, Mr. Bennett or Mrs. Bennett. Sometimes what's a little deceiving is looking at how long people have been biking. For instance, Bennett, who we just overtook, it shows that he or she has only been riding for 6.5K. But I'm quite sure that we saw him or her on a previous ride. And same is true for us. We have been biking so far for more than 50K. And it only shows 3.4 because we started a new ride. Also, if you do want to do badge hunting, don't forget to, in between routes, close Zwift and restart it, because at least until half a year ago, that would not count towards a new route badge if you already unlocked one in your session. So since I'm not willing to find out, I highly recommend you do exactly that. Close Zwift, say you're done with the session, then load it up again. This way you'll make sure to unlock a new route badge if you haven't been on that particular route, and of course you finish it. So getting to the finish line for the first time, or start line. The next time we'll go through this, we will hopefully have unlocked the route badge as well as finished Makuri Island with all of its beautifully crafted routes. So let's see what kind of PU we are getting. Okay, that's not the best. I would have really liked a feather, but you can't choose, so let's just be happy with what we got. Downhill we go. Get one more bottle ready for the next climb. Yeah, the first 3 rides today, we didn't add or lose any performance. But I just saw that for this particular one, we lost 2 performance points again on our Garmin watch. But now you probably know that I don't really care, as long as overall we are developing in the right direction, and I think that we do. It was just because after 2.5 hours, the heart rate is still at an elevated level, and when you then start your next ride and get close to zone 3 without putting too much power out, then yeah, then the watch will think, what the hell is going on? You're getting weak there, Patrick. I just realized this might have been the first time that I mentioned my name. Yeah, my name is Patrick. Nice to meet you. And I made this club tight cycling. Tight stands for this is gonna hurt tremendously. And this will most likely apply to some races that we'll be doing in the future. For now, there's not a lot of height going on with us floating around between zone 2 and zone 3. But feel free to check out the ride that I did on the Tour de Zwift stage 2, where the heart rate went up all the way to 181. So that was definitely tight. So we'll probably develop something like, you know, a tight factor or something on each video, giving you an indication for how hard this ride was. The first couple of rides here, I would think, were on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being essentially dying. I think they were like a 3. Yeah, the first 2 were definitely a 3. Maybe the Kappa reverse was a 4. So far, this ride is maybe a 4. Maybe a 5. But I hope that towards the back end of this ride, we'll be pushing a little bit and maybe bring this up to, I don't know, maybe a 7 or so. We'll see how we feel. That was a head-on collision. All right. So once we hit the road, we will use our power up. Boom. Yeah, I wish sometimes I pay attention to where we're actually going, because it would make things a little bit easier to suss out or to see where we can accelerate or where there are some points to put in a nice little effort on the climb or on the flats. Yeah, unfortunately she goes left. So no more drafting. And we run out of our power up. All right. So it sounds not too bad when thinking that's less than 4K left. But we are still about 100 vertical meters short of the goal. So they will be somewhere. No doubt about that. Yeah, see, we're going here on the forest climb. 3.4K left, which probably means that we are traversing again, because this climb is 2.5K long, exactly, and we have 3.3K left. But let's just see if we turn right again. Let's spread some love. So there are a couple of options. One is we go all the way to the top and somehow end on a downhill, which seems unlikely. The alternative is that you will again turn right and then get left onto the Temple KOM from the other side. Yeah, and right return. Let's try to stay above 2 watts per kilo. And let's maybe use one more headband. All right. So now we're on the proper tempo KOM. And just 1.6 Ks left. Don't forget to spread the love with ride-ons. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7 bends, including this one. And then we are done. Only 4 more corners, and then we'll be done. There's a deer again on the left. Roy, thanks for the ride-on. Much appreciated. It looks like we will be catching up with one more rider, at least Mr. or Mrs. Boba. Don't worry, there's a ride-on with your name on it right here. So, Mr. or Mrs. Prosser from Germany, and Tanu Vijaya from, I assume, Indonesia are still ahead of us. Let's see if we can catch our Indonesian friend. Only 2 more bends. Judging by the time, our Indonesian friend is putting down less power, but the gap increases, which I assume means that he is already, or she, on the downhill. We also have a Mr. and Mrs. Rummel behind us, catching up. But there's only 1 bend left. So let's try to finish before him or her. All right. All right, done. So let's see if we unlock our last route badge. We did. With that come 170 XP points, which is much appreciated. Getting us closer to the next level. Probably about 85% or so done of level 27. So now we're just going through this rolling part here. And then we of course take the downhill, which will probably bring us up to 14, maybe 15K total for this ride. And every K counts towards your drops, towards your level. And now we're having someone on the downhill to follow, which is also nice because then we can just sit in the draft, do very little to no work, and rack up those XP points. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, this was definitely not the last time I'm in Makuri Island. Probably so far my favorite world. That being said, I'm really looking forward to everything that Zwift has been working on. I think there's a Scotland world being built or having been done already for the e-sport world championships that must be coming up like pretty much any day now, or February. I'm not 100% sure. If you know, leave a comment in the section below and, you know, enlighten us. So not quite at the bottom yet, and still already past 14K, meaning that we will for sure make it to 15K, because there's still more downhill to be done after this very small little kicker. So maybe we should use our power up and yeah, then say our thanks. So for this ride we averaged 150 watts. Yeah, again, nothing to write home about, but at least a little bit more than what we did earlier today with our zone 2 riding. So just had a couple of minutes at slightly elevated heart rate. I think we topped out at around 160 or so, which is great. And what else can I tell you? Max power we did on this ride, 330 watts, 332 to be exact. And for the zones, we still managed to be in zone 2 for most part, 20 something odd minutes, 16 minutes in zone 3, and 10 minutes in zone 4. So with that being said, I will leave it here and hope to see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed this ride. You know what to do. You know what to do. If you enjoy this kind of content, leave a comment, subscribe, leave a like, a YouTube write-on if you will. And yeah, I'll make sure to see you in the next one. For now, thanks for participating. Thanks for being here with me. And as always, ride hard, have fun, tight cycling. All right, see you in the next one. Bye-bye.